Isogenics. Hope everybody's having a great night back in the United States, Canada. I'm actually in Australia right now, so it is currently 10 a.m. on Tuesday, November 3rd. So just so you know, Tuesday's going good so far for those of you who are still in Monday. Excited to be with you tonight. Pete and I just did our first breakthrough event in Perth last night. We had over 1,000 people. And so if you are tuning in from Australia or New Zealand, welcome to the hangout here. We hope to see you in the next couple weeks as we continue our breakthrough tour. And I see lots of people calling in from all over the world tonight. We got New Jersey, Oceanside, California, Arizona, Melbourne, Australia, Philadelphia, Bozeman, Montana, South Carolina. So thanks everyone for joining. Before we get going here, I just want to make sure everybody is aware. We just launched something yesterday that is pretty exciting, something called the Welcome Home Challenge. So if you don't know anything about this, make sure you go to welcomehomechallenge.com, welcomehomechallenge.com. Basically from starting yesterday, November 1st, until December 31st, we're having a little challenge. So the next 2 months, November 1st to December 31st, if you accumulate 70 points, and the way you accumulate points is by enrolling new people, starting them on the products, rank advancing people, you rank advancing yourself, entering people in the or completing the Isobody challenge, all that good stuff, just basics of building your business. You accumulate 70 points by December 31st of 2015. We are going to fly you and take care of your accommodations to Arizona, where you are going to be the first group to ever tour our world headquarters, brand new world headquarters that is anticipated to be done the first part of 2016. So you're going to be the first group to go on the tour. Isogenics history. It's going to be a huge day. And also, this is what people are really freaking out about. You're going to get to do a private tour of John Anderson's ranch and get to see all of his animals, and also do a private tour of his lab where he does all of his formulations. And then you get to go on a tour of my mom and dad's house and get to see that whole thing too. So it's going to be just an incredible experience over a couple days. And so again, earn 70 points and you go. Like you do, you get. So there's no limit on how many people participate in this. If you earn 70 points, you earn your way. So again, go to welcomehomechallenge.com. Just wanted to promote that out there. It's going to be pretty nuts. I know everybody's pretty excited about that. So, so with that, I get to welcome onto the call the host for tonight, special guest. She's a Start Ambassador, Isogenics millionaire. She's done it at a very young age, I think of 27. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 27 years old. She's building just an amazing team of all walks of life, but a lot of fired up mommies on a mission. So Cayla Kraft, what's going on?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to start Monday off like this.
It's the best. We love Mondays, and it's great to have you with us. So you're tuning in from Bakersfield, yes?
Good old Baco. Yep.
Good old Baco. And for those who've never been to Baco, I think they're probably, I always say this, there's like more cows than people in Baco. But like Isogenics is a household name in Baco, and you guys have made it that way. It's awesome. I remember the last event I did there we had like almost 500 people at that event. So
Baco. I know we need to have to come back and we'll go line dancing at Crystal Palace again.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
With
yeah. We'll bring PETA. So okay, so we had a lot of questions on the Facebook page, so appreciate those. I know we had posted, we're gonna really focus this call around kind of posture, focusing on the right things. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to post them in the chat on isogenicslive.com. So I know we see everybody tuning in here. So if you have any questions that we're not getting to, if we have time, we'll get to some of those. So I just post those in the chat and we'll get to those questions. So first thing I wanted to start out with asking Cayla is, really goes along with the whole idea of posture. And, everybody kind of wants to know, how do you talk to people about getting their products paid for? Because a lot of people, most people in Isogenics, let's face it, they just want to start for the product. I mean, I bet if you polled all the millionaires in Isogenics, I bet 99% of them just first started with the product. 85% of all people that join Isogenics are just taking the product, and that's awesome because our products are so great. But I guess the question is, and it came from Danny Catania in Australia, how do you help your people get their products paid for? And how do you go about having that conversation? So let's say I just, got a good product result, or I'm just starting my product journey. What does that conversation look like to talk to people about the business and getting their product paid for?
Okay. Well, first off with this, it's just, I remember in the beginning, I was one of those people that got started just because of the products. And so I assumed that people would want to wait and have results. And so I waited to tell people about the business. And I think that's like a big, huge mistake, because you're really, people may miss out on bonuses potentially. So right away, as soon as somebody gets enrolled, I just assume, after everything I've been able to experience with Isogenics, I assume that everybody wants this opportunity and everybody needs what I have. And so I just get them on a really quick, if they're, a lot of people I do business with are all over the world. So I say, hey, can we Skype really quick? I have something that I'm obligated to tell you about. So can you get on? It's just a real quick, 10-minute chat. And I think that's huge. So you just have to make sure to protect people's time and really honor it. And so people don't want to take on something that's going to take up too much time. So if you go, okay, I just need 10 minutes of your time. And also they're going to think you're more professional if you don't take up all their time explaining, this very simple concept. Okay. And so just, you're getting them on Skype. I have my dry erase board out and I'm just like, hey, I'm obligated to tell you this. Who are your two best friends that you do everything with? And I make them tell me a name, and they'll tell me their names, and I write their name, U plus 2. I write Kim up here at the top and her two best friends. I'm like, hey, you're going to do the cleanse with them because you're going to have better results. Okay. And so that's my posture about it. Cause I'm like, I know what I know. Okay. And I know that if people do it with friends, that they're going to be more successful. They're going to drop more weight because guess what? Instead of picking up the pizza, they're going to text their friend and be like, oh, I really want this pizza, but should I? And they're going to say, no, remember, we're all cleansing together. We're doing this. We're having fun. So it's all about them. You know that your people are going to have better results when you tell them U plus 2 right away. And so I just get them excited about it. And that's how I explain it. It's just like this. Like, why would you not want to have your two best friends do this with you? So making it fun and just assuming that people will say, yes, I'll find two friends right away. Okay. And then I just simply go over U plus 2, then plus 2 really quick. And of course, I've practiced it so many times, it comes out very quickly. And so with that, if you don't have it practiced, practice it. Use the U plus 2, then plus 2 script if you need to. So that way you're protecting your time and honoring their time, and it goes smoothly and quickly. So they just get the simple concept of U plus 2, then plus 2. But it's all about how you say it. How excited are you about U plus 2, then plus 2?
Mm-hmm. No, that's it. And so you're saying that you, as soon as you get somebody started on the products, you're scheduling like a Skype call or a call with them to tell them immediately how to get their products paid for.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I love the verbiage that you use. If not everybody caught it, I have something that I'm obligated to share with you. So when can you're not giving them too much. You're just setting that appointment before you're going into really what it is.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Now, you touched on something, you said, you yourself have to get excited about this, and we talk a lot about, so much of this business is about posture, and a lot of people, they get kind of wrapped up in what exactly, I need the exact perfect articulate words to say. And all of a sudden they'll get those words and then they say them, but it wasn't authentic from them, and so it doesn't come across authentic, and it doesn't really work. And so now you're saying things the way you would say them, but you're excited about it, you're having posture, and it's starting to resonate with people. Can you just maybe talk about, how you've kind of gone about, growing your posture, and maybe, did you always have a lot of posture in the very beginning, or has it improved?
Mm-hmm. No, I did not have posture in the beginning, because I was like that. I was a nurse. I was an ER nurse. And so I thought, okay, I need to know every little thing about these products before I recommend them to anybody else. And so that was a major no-no. Don't do that, because we have amazing scientists behind all of our products that we can use the tools. And I don't have to be an expert on it, which is so awesome. But the way that I really gained posture is I read a book. It's called Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. And the basic premise of it is just like, you're constantly being sold something, whether it be an opinion or, a product, whatever it is, you're being sold something. And you're either selling your opinion all day long, or you're being sold by everybody else around you. And I'm like, hey, I like my opinion. I know what I have in Isagenix is an amazing gift that everybody needs. And so I'm going to sell what I have to offer to everybody I know, because they need this in their life. And so I'm 100% sold on the Isagenix vision and the products. And so I want to share that with every single person in my life that I come into contact with every single day. And so my posture changed once I realized that, like, hey, I don't want to be sold on anything else in this world. I like what I've got in Isagenix. So I want to tell everybody about that. So I need to be 100% sold out for Isagenix. And once I got to that point, my posture's like, yeah, you want what I got, okay? So.
Exactly. And I think that's the way you go about, developing posture. Is nobody's ever developed posture just by, getting ready to get ready, learning every single word and everything like that. They develop posture by going out and, failing and messing up and stumbling over their words and all that stuff, because you learn what works, what doesn't work. So the best way to gain posture is by just going out and doing it. And pretty soon you're going to get more comfortable, and, you just become more confident in what you're doing, whether it be sharing the vision of Isagenix or showing somebody just how to get their products paid for.
Mm-hmm. And just remembering that you're in the people business. So you don't have to have this perfect pitch when you're going to meet somebody for coffee. You really don't, because we have Isagenix tools. So all you need to do is remember that you're meeting with an actual person, a human being who has a heart that just really wants that connection with somebody. And so if you go with your heart in the right place, and knowing you're not pitching anybody, you're not actually wanting to sell them anything, you're really wanting to give them a gift. And if you go like that, as a servant leader, and you're just going to give in that meeting, I mean, everything kind of falls into place if it's the right timing, for them to come into your life and your business.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you want to learn more about how to connect with people, go to isagenixbusiness.com, watch my mom's video on how to become a master connector, and really use that tool with people who are having difficulty, feeling comfortable connecting with people. That's what the tools are for. Don't feel like you have to go out and host this huge training call on how to connect with people. Just utilize the tool and, learn from the tool, and then go out and do it. Because, and the best advice I've ever heard from on prospecting or connecting is just don't be weird. Just don't be that weird network marketer that's like in their head about like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to say when the person asks me, what do I do? Like, and they start going into all this weird stuff. Just be a human being and just go connect with people. And if Isagenix comes up, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. Like, we don't need to have an agenda when we're going out and talking to people. Like you said, just come from a place of service. Okay, so next question. There's kind of a big talk out there about these blitz weeks, and like creating a lot of massive momentum in like a short period of time. I mean, these big bursts. And I know you've done blitz weeks where you just you get your whole group really aligned around a vision. And you don't have to, what we want to get across too is you don't have to have this big team to do a blitz week. You could do a blitz week with just you. And so what are you doing during your blitz weeks where you are getting into like massive momentum for like a week's period of time? What are your team members and yourself doing? What does that kind of look like?
Well, I think the first thing is that we're definitely prepared way ahead of time. So we usually pick out the week, and we're very strategic about it. Like all that kind of stuff. Like are you getting a lot of feedback, or is that just me?
A little bit. It's all right. Just give it a second. It should.
Keep going. Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I can hear you fine.
Okay. So, anyways, what I was saying was just be prepared. So we make sure that we know, the week before, who exactly we're going to be calling Monday through Sunday of that week, and we have it all written out. And we also plan a launch party, at least one launch party in our city, and then we're also doing these really successful virtual parties using Zoom online, and those have been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, because that you get to go to a launch party just in the comfort of your own home, and so people are just like getting on those like crazy. Anyway, so we'll do that like every night of the week. Okay, not the same person, but we'll have different leaders do it, so that way you can hear different stories and stuff, and it leverages our time. We're also doing text message blitz days, and I actually have a podcast about that on isagenixpodcast.com that kind of goes into detail about how we do our text message blitz days, but those are all very planned as well, because the worst thing that you don't want to happen is, getting in a room and not having anything to do for 8 hours, and then you sit there and, twiddle your thumbs and talk about how you have nobody to enroll. So you want to be prepared ahead of time on everybody you're going to call, who you're going to get on Instagram and talk to, all that kind of stuff. So we're just very strategic about it.
Okay, so let's just talk about this text message blitz day just for a second. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the text message blitz days, basically it's kind of a massive blitz where everybody is texting, inviting people to, whether it be a launch party or to check out something or to meet for coffee. Can you just kind of talk about what, the text message blitz day is intended for, and maybe what a typical text message that you would send to somebody looks like?
Okay. So yeah, the whole point of a text message blitz day is to fill up your calendar even more. And also, now that we've been doing these virtual parties, it's usually just to get people onto that virtual party that night. And if they can't do that, then get a meeting with them ASAP. And it just depends on what we're doing. So a typical text message just to start out the convo is just, hey, how are you? Okay. So it's just like, we're just reconnecting, we're just talking with people, and it naturally comes up, like, what are you up to? What's new with you? And I always like to ask, like, trigger questions. So what would make them start thinking about a need for what I have to offer in life? And so, just like, hey, what's new with you and your job? Are you still at the hospital? Asking stuff like that. And they may respond back and say, yeah, I'm still here. It's been 5 years, and I just got a pay cut. I'm like, and that would be the perfect time to go, oh, you know what? I have something that would really, that I think you'd really like to look into. Can you jump on this little meeting tonight at 7? If not, does Macy still work in that department? Like, in changing the subject so that way it's not weird. And I learned that from I think it was the Icebreakers book, but anyways, yeah, so it's just doing that. It's just, it's like you're in person, but you're just texting them, but with a purpose. So there is a purpose in mind. And, if somebody tells me, no, I'm not interested in that, I know what you're doing, I'm not interested in that. Okay, that's cool. But do you have like 10 friends that may be interested? I always ask for referrals on those text message blitz days.
That's a key thing that I think a lot of people miss out on, is that referral. Just because somebody isn't interested, doesn't mean they don't know people that may be like dying for an opportunity like this, or waiting for the Isagenix product. So I think that's a key, a key point that you just hit on there, is always asking for referrals, whether it be through the text messages or when you're just talking to people. I think that's huge as well.
Yeah, and just I know a lot of people are scared to ask for referrals because somebody's already told you no. But you have to remind yourself that they're not telling you no; they're just telling the opportunity no for now. And a lot of people, there's a lot of good people in this world that want to see you succeed. And so just assume that people want to help you. That's what I do. I assume that people want to help me. I'm like, hey, you could really help me out if you gave me, 10 names of people that you think would really want to lose some weight or create an additional income. And they'll go, oh, okay. I mean, and I don't always get 10 names, but I'll at least get 2, that's awesome.
No, that's great. Good. So you said that before like these blitz weeks, you have, literally to the hour, you have everything planned out. And like the text messages are to really help fill out the calendar for that week with appointments, inviting people to launch parties, these Zooms that you're having. So everything is very focused and, on purpose during this blitz week, but it's happening actually before the blitz week. Is that right? You're kind of setting that up before.
Yeah. The text message blitz day could be before we do a lot of those though. So yeah, they'll be before a big rank advancement week. And then we could possibly do them. Sometimes we'll do them once a week. If we all have time to get 3 hours together and just bust out an amazing little blitz time. It's amazing what will happen. Like when there's a bunch of people in a room that are just getting each other fired up. It's like, yes, I got a yes. Oh, okay, I got a yes. And we just keep going. Momentum. We'll end up going for 6 hours, but we try to do those at least every other week, if not every week.
Yeah. Well, it's the best, just having people, that camaraderie, everybody in the room creating that energy, I think is really special.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing you mentioned is you're doing a weekly launch party during the Blitz week, and did I even hear that you're doing like one every single night, or is that the Zoom call?
The Zoom, we're at least doing one every single night.
Okay.
But not on the weekends though. I take that back. Just Monday through Friday. But a launch party, we'll do one once a week, and we're just using a launch party kit, and it's awesome.
So for the new person, because everybody always kind of wants to know, some people are kind of sometimes intimidated by launch parties. They don't want to invite people to their home, or they're afraid to get up and talk. But I talk to so many people, and I always ask, and the people who are in growing big isogenics businesses, or the people who are growing fast, and I always ask them, what's the one thing that you can really attribute a lot of this success to? What's really changed for you? And somewhere in their answer, always, like I hear different things, but the one thing that's always consistent is they're always doing launch parties. It's like, yeah, we're doing this weekly launch party, or launch parties have been huge for us. So how do you structure your launch party? And if you've got somebody that's like brand new, let's say I'm brand new, you just got me started, I want to do the business, how would you instruct me to host my first launch party and invite people to it?
I would just tell you to buy the launch party kit, and in order to get people to come, you call them, and you make a specific list. And I like to pick people, that are going to all have a reason to be there. So that way, when I call them, I can say, hey, the last time we chatted, I know you mentioned you wanted to lose 40 pounds, and I'm having this amazing get together next week that I think would really help you reach your goal. So can you come? So just talking to people about their goals and saying, last time we talked, you were here. I want to help you get there. So can you come on Tuesday night? So giving them a reason to be there. We used to do Facebook events and like invite people that way. And that used to work like a couple years ago. It does not work now. And I know that people are still trying that. That doesn't work because people honestly, I don't even see, if I get invited to things on Facebook now, the way that it's set up, I don't see that. And so I know other people don't see it. So you have to really call people and get personal with people, and sometimes have that hard conversation with them, like, have them come. And it's uncomfortable a little bit, but what has being in your comfort zone gotten you in life? Nothing. So You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how you're inviting people. And now, so how do you kind of structure your launch party? So, if I'm a brand new person, are you playing one of the videos? Are you, having people get up and share their story? Are you doing some tasting? What does that kind of look like?
Yes. Okay, so we always have music playing when people come in, and there's a really great Isogenic Spotify playlist, so you could play that. I mean, you always want it to be, super upbeat and happy, not anything about breaking up or like, hateful songs. Make sure it's all like happy, okay? Pharrell, happy. That's the kind of vibe you want going on, okay?
Launch party 101. Don't use breakup music when entering the room.
People get sad. That happened to me one time. So anyway, I'm very particular about music. Anyways, and so then to start it off, I just have people go around the room and say, why are you here? Basically, I always share why I am there. And then I go around and say, hey, who invited you? We say our name. And so right away, it's just kind of like making people become close, even if they didn't want to. It's like, I want to know about you and why you're here. And some people really open up, and some people go, I came because she made me. Like, okay. But then the person next to her may really open up, and say, I've been struggling to lose 40 pounds, or, I just lost my job, and I knew that if I came here, I could, find a way to get help or whatever. So I always started off that way. We show a video, then we share a couple stories, both business and product. I like to mix it all together. So I don't let people go like, you can get one, but you don't get the other. I like to just put it all together and be like, because they're so intermixed for me. Like, so anyways, and then at the end, before everybody's leaving, I'll have them taste the shakes. And I know some people don't do that. I love the shakes, and I love the fact that I can show somebody how quickly they can just make a meal for their family. And so I always do the shakes, and just a little, Dixie cup of shakes for everybody. And then I pass out a list and have people start writing down a list of people they know that would love those protein shakes that they just tasted, So it's very simple. It's only an hour, because I like to show people that it's so simple to do this. It's not going to take up, your whole life to build this in the pockets of your time. So
I love that. It's so powerful. Just that layout. I love the first question, just kind of taking the focus off of you and putting it right back on them, and just asking them, okay, why are you guys here? You guys obviously showed up, and you'd be amazed at what starts coming out of people. Yeah, I just lost my job, looking for something better. They may say, my friend dragged me here. But hey, I think that it lightens things up. And I think that's great. Now, you said you play the videos, which I think is very powerful, especially for somebody who's just getting started. They don't feel comfortable talking in front of the room. That's why we have the Why Isogenics video. That's why we have these videos, to do the work, for people. And then making that list, who do you know that, or, write down 10 people that that could benefit from what you heard tonight. I've seen that done at a lot of launch parties. That's really, really effective.
Yeah,
so
it works really good.
One thing I actually saw one time is somebody, they actually kind of made a game out of it. So at the end, it's like, okay, guys, we're going to play a game, and whoever writes down as many names is going to get like two e-shots or something like that. You don't have to give anything away. You can give away an e-shot. Whoever writes down as many names as possible in the next 60 seconds, and just think about anybody that that you're close to that could benefit from anything that you've heard tonight, and just give away, an e-shot or two to that person. And it just gets people into action right away, and it gets people thinking, not just about themselves, about who they could share it with. So they've already got their contact list.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've done that game a lot, and people, they'll first look at the list and think, okay, I don't know 30 people, and then a ton of people will walk out, with the whole list of 30 people filled out. It's crazy. But yeah, I like that. I like doing that. And the reason why launch parties work too, Eric, is because even if, let's just say, the same people show up every week, it doesn't matter. That's your team that's coming, and you're just getting each other fired up. And if nobody new shows up, then hey, guess what? we've already allotted this time to work, so let's do some phone calls together. And so, and even if it ends up being a party of one, you make it productive, and you sit there and do phone calls yourself, because sometimes that happens. That's happened to me a lot, okay? Where it's like, oh, this was a secret party nobody came to. But I still practice, my story, and I did the do, and people started to come, because they knew I was having one every single week at my house. So people started to come. One night we had 70 people in my little living room. So
wow. So how are you empowering other people to go do their own launch parties? And because I'm sure during your launch party, it's not like the Cayla craft show. And because I think that's an important thing too, is that if you go out of town for 3 months, and you had built this launch party just around just being you, then people would become dependent on that, and then they'd be out of a launch party for 3 months. So how do you go about kind of empowering your new people to really start their own launch parties? I mean, are you having them share their story at your launch party to get them comfortable in front of the room? How do you go about doing that?
Yes, absolutely. And I help them practice that beforehand, because I don't want them to practice on people sharing their story. So we're going to practice together, saying the story, so that way they, are very compliant, because I take that very serious. So I always just have them practice beforehand. And, whenever I'm signing somebody up, and after I would go through U+2, then +2, I give them that new associate checklist. And so on that, it says, when are we going to have your first launch party? And so right then and there, I'm setting the expectation, like, hey, you can come to this one at my house on Tuesday. I expect you to come to the house on Tuesday, but then I'll be at yours next Friday. Okay. So it's kind of just like setting the tone. Like, it's not about me. This is your business. And so I'm going to help you however much you want to be helped.
That's huge. I love that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do that. The people that sign up during the launch party, the person who hosted the launch party, it's like, okay, let's schedule your first launch party, and I'm going to come do it for you, to kind of like ignite their business. That's literally, I think that's your guys' secret, really. I mean, it's like you guys really build in launch parties, but you take the time for people because that's how they were first exposed to Isagenix, was through a launch party. So it makes sense for them to do their own launch party to, get their network exposed, but to have you come and do it for their first one, I think is pretty powerful.
Yes, and even people that live far away, I'll have them Skype me in just to share my story. I'll say, hey, do the launch party kit, and then when it comes time for just backup, you need a third story validation, Skype me in, and I'll share my story really quick and tell everybody hi. And that's why I love technology, is for that reason right there, because nobody has an excuse to say no. You're making it easy for them.
Exactly. So, let's, there's so much emphasis around, what to really focus in on. So if I'm just getting started, what is kind of like a daily method of operation look like for you? And maybe going back to when you first started, because it probably looks maybe a little differently from when you first started what it does now, because now you've got a group of thousands of people. But when you've got new people coming in, where do you have most people spend the most time on? I mean, is it talking to new people? Is it doing launch parties? Is it listening to podcasts? How are you setting people up for success?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just talking to people. It's just, how many people can I connect with a day? We do a daily call. So, every morning at 6:30, me, Danielle, and Ross Thompson, we do a daily call. We switch off, and we'll give you a challenge every day. So today, it's funny, my challenge was for everybody to talk to 50 people this week, because I just think it's so important to just constantly be in that role of meeting new people and talking to people, not even about Isagenix, but just connecting, and just building your network bigger and bigger every week. And like, it should feel so weird to you when you don't talk to somebody new every day. Like when I go to sleep at night, like if I don't talk to somebody new, I'm like, oh, I feel like uneasy. I have to get on Instagram and meet somebody new really quick. Because that's how used to it I am. Like, I'm so used to meeting new people. and connecting. And so I think it's just right away getting people to watch that connecting webinar by your mom and just say, okay, that's it. It's really that simple. Yes. You know, everything else, knowing about the products, knowing about the compensation plan, ignorance is bliss at this point. You know, use the tool. And all you have to do is just say, hey, I'm starting something new. Will you take a look at it with me? And just how many times has the Isagenix story been told? Every single day. So in the beginning, what I did, I was working as an ER nurse, night shift, and I had no time. And I had a 1-year-old at home. And I was also working as a clinical instructor for a nursing school here in town. And so I didn't really have any time. And so I gave myself a little guide. Okay. So I said, I need to talk to 3 new people every single day. And then I'm going to follow up with 3 people every single day. And I'm also going to reach down to 3 other people that have already started the Isagenix system with me. I'm going to talk to them. I'm just going to check in with them, send them a text, email, voicemail, whatever it is. And I really love, because I didn't have any time back then, I fell in love with this app called Slide Dial. And it's where you can voicemail somebody. It goes directly to their voicemail. So it's just to send them a really quick voicemail. Hey, I'm thinking about you, and I wanted just to make sure that you're having an amazing day. You know, I hope you're enjoying your Isagenix shake for breakfast, and hopefully we'll get to chat soon. You know, if you don't have a lot of time, that really helps you, the Slide Dial app. And anyways, and so that's what I did. It's like 9 phone calls a day. You can get all that done in less than 2 hours, you know, split up throughout the day. And it's so amazing because you can really, you know, I was working full time at my job to pay my bills, but I was working part time to build our fortune and really build up that financial freedom for my family. It was so part time. It wasn't easy, but it was so simple. Like, okay, you know, and if I got my 9 phone calls done sooner, I was talking to more people, you know?
I love that. So 3 new people, 3 follow-ups, and then 3 people that are existing in Isagenix that you're just following up with, they're helping.
Yeah, and if you don't have 3 people on your team yet, that's okay. Just talk to 3 other people and pour greatness into them. You know, send a text and just encourage somebody.
I love that. Great. That's perfect. Okay, good. So what I'm getting from that is just talking to new people. That's what people should be focusing in on. Pouring greatness into people, talking to them, sharing the story. How many times today has the Isagenix story been told? Awesome. Mm-hmm. So we had a question just come in real quick. I want to get to it. It's from Lauren Kimiek. Sorry if I butchered that. I probably really butchered that bad. But Lauren says, you know, speaking of launch parties, what if you don't live near your team or anyone in your area? How would you recommend doing a launch party if it's just you?
Yeah, so then do a virtual one.
Virtual. So utilizing Zoom.
Yep. Just getting in. And so what we do for that is that Experience Isagenix presentation. We just use that. So amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for redoing it. It's amazing. And that's what we use.
Yeah, good. Okay, so the Experience Isagenix presentation, you can find that isagenixbusiness.com or in the back office. And then, you know, if you're not familiar with Zoom, get familiar with Zoom because it's an amazing technology. You can have like all these people's faces up on the screen at once. It feels like you're in somebody's house doing a launch party. I mean, so definitely get familiar with that technology, Zoom. And so you're basically you're just inviting people to the Zoom as you would if you're inviting them to your home. Mm-hmm. Same exact process. Awesome. Lauren, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I know we're talking a little bit before the call about, you know, really pouring kind of love into your existing team members to help keep them inspired. And you had mentioned something that you're having all of your new people do around like these love languages and stuff like that, finding out what really makes them tick. So can you kind of talk about how you keep your new people inspired and motivated or just always pouring love into them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just remembering again that you guys were in the people business. And so just really getting to know who those people are that you're working with. You know, they're not just that normal coworker that you know, would say hi and bye to. You have to do life with these people. So you really need to get to know them. And so I love this little love languages. I don't know the link, but I'll post it and start later. But it kind of tells people, you know, like, what is your love language? What fills up your love tank, you know, like, and I know for, a lot of people is gifts. And so if I have somebody that I've just enrolled in their love language is gifts, well, okay, I'm going to send them a little gift when they do their first 3-way call with me. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive, you guys. Even just a little card with a $5 Starbucks card and just a little note saying, I'm so proud of you, you know, for getting out of your comfort zone. I can't wait to see what greatness we're going to do together. You know, that means so much to people. And not always speaking from your heart, of course. And that, but anyways, that keeps people motivated because they know that you believe in them. And the most amazing thing about this business, you guys, is that we get to help create a new reality for people. And so you're able to see in others what they don't yet see in themselves. That's the beauty of this. And so it's just constantly telling people that. Telling people, this is what I see for you in 5 years. You told me, you know, that this is what you want for your life, and I see it happening. You know, but we have to do X, Y, and Z to get there. So, you know, hold my hand. We're going to do this together. And it's going to be fun, you know? So yeah, I always do the love languages, the colorcode.com to find out, you know, what really makes a person tick and what bothers them, because I'm a red personality. So I do clash with a lot of people, but I know all the other personalities now so well. And so I know how to pull back on the red and try to make me a little more purple and put some blue in there. So that way I don't push anybody too much or whatever. So I love colorcode.com for that reason too. So yeah.
Perfect.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope everybody's really kind of getting the biggest thing I'm taking away from this hangout sesh is that how much of a business you treat this as. I mean, it's like, you know, everything is down to a science, whether it be the blitz weeks, the week before, you're scheduling every hour of how that blitz week's going to work. You know, to the love languages stuff, you're mailing cards out to people, going above and beyond, you know, what you really have to do. You're always going above and beyond. You're setting people up for success. I just think I know that's been one of my biggest takeaways from this is just, and I think everybody can kind of learn from that is, you know, what can I be doing better to really, am I really treating this as a serious profession? Because you're earning a serious income, and it's because of the habits that you've ingrained in your business. And I hope everybody's kind of getting that. So, okay, we had, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's very simple stuff. And I know, like, for new people that may have just heard all that, it's like that may be a little overwhelming to you. But, you know, anybody could come in and I think and make, you know, a pretty good income, but you'll lose it if you don't have this stuff in place. And so I think that that's important that you hit on that. And that was one of your takeaways, because I feel like, you know, some people can rank advance and they'll get to a certain level, but if they don't have all the steps in place to treat it like you are the CEO, you know, of this organization, then we'll lose it all, because people will fall away because you didn't treat it like a serious, tight-knit community that it needs to be.
Exactly. So. I love it. Okay, we had a couple more questions come in. Now they're rapid fire. You gotta like it. Okay, so what's that?
They know it's almost ending.
I know. Yeah, we'll wrap up with this one. So this is from Cassandra, and then another person actually wanted this question too. Would love ideas. This is Cassandra Smith.
Yay, that's my girl. She's in Australia.
Oh, good. I'll probably see her on the 9th when we come to Melbourne. Cassandra, can't wait to see her. Good. So she asks, would love ideas on how to help with duplication and igniting the fire deep into your team.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that's helping you duplicate?
It just goes back to empowering people and, you know, telling people not telling people, but empowering them that, you know, hey, I wasn't always a master at this. You know, every master was once a disaster. You know, it took a long time for me to become good at this skill, and I'm still not an expert at it. And so it's just kind of setting up, I think if you set up the right expectations for people in the beginning. So if you say, hey, this is the most amazing profession ever, and you know, anybody can do it because anybody can learn the skills if they put in the time to do this. But if you come in here and you just think you're going to be an overnight success, having no previous experience in network marketing, then you're fooling yourself. And so I always like to just set people up with that expectation, because then they'll know, okay, if I don't, you know, enroll 20 people my first month, I'm not a failure. That's totally okay, because I'm still learning, and I may have made $500 my first month, which is so awesome. I wanted to make 2,000, but that's okay. I made 500, and it's just, you know, celebrating the little successes and just going, hey, this is going to take time. It takes 7 years to become an expert. So if you can commit to me for being on auto ship and using these products every single day and then sharing with people, I'll commit to you, and I'll give as much as you want. Anyways, I guess that was kind of on a tangent there, but it's just, you know, setting up this.
I think that is one of the single most important things everybody really needs to get, is managing people's expectations, because it's easy to not set the right expectations up front, and then, you know, we pay for it a month or two later. Whereas setting people up for success, saying, hey, this takes a lot of time, effort. You're going to have people say no to you. You know, you're going to, you know, just being real with the people, so that when they start getting some of this adversity, it's normal. I mean, we need to normalize this adversity. It's, you know, it's the same in every profession.
Yes. Yeah, and I always just tell people, because I went through that, because I had, you know, rank advanced so quickly in the beginning, and you know, in like 6 months was a 3-star, and so I would tell people that, and then so everybody expected for that to happen to them, and so I had to quickly change my story, and you know, even though that was the truth, that's not what I was telling people right off the bat anymore, because it just really set them up with the wrong expectation, because they expected they were going to do that. And not everybody will do that, and that's totally okay. So I learned from that, and I want you guys all to learn from my mistake.
Okay. So we'll end with this one, talking about mistakes. If there was one thing that, you know, you've been doing this for a couple years now, if there's one thing that you wish you would have known when you had started your journey, if somebody like would have whispered in your ear, hey, just spend less time doing this and more time doing this, or focus in on this, what would that one thing be?
I think the one thing is to not spend so much time comparing yourself to everybody else. And so I know that people will see all these amazing rank advancements on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, and you may be happy for them, but at the same time in your heart you're thinking, what's wrong with me, and why am I not doing it that quickly? And I spent a lot of time my first 2 years comparing myself to everybody else and what everybody else was doing, and I realized that the non-activity of me thinking that way was making me lose momentum and making me lose my ambition in this business. And so what I would tell you is, don't compare yourself. Your journey is your journey. And what you have to share with the world is something so special and so great that only you can give. And so if you just focus in on that and you hone in on what you have to offer the world, oh my gosh, the sky is the limit for you. And I don't know, it just gives me goosebumps just telling all of you guys that, because just spend time doing you and being you, and the world will love that, and they will be coming to you in flocks to, you know, really grab what you have to offer. So spend time just being you. That's my best advice.
I love that. That's beautiful. No, that's great advice. You know, it's very, very easy to compare, and, you know, we all do it, but, you know, we're all on our unique journey, and, you know, it is about the journey. So I think that's so important, you know, for everybody listening. So I know you mentioned a couple books that you have read. I know you said Sell or Be Sold.
Yes, by Grant Cardone. He's
okay.
Cardone. And he's a really awesome real estate guy. So I've been learning a lot from him. He's really good on Periscope too.
Oh, good. Okay. And then you said icebreakers.
Icebreakers, and that's by Tom Big Al Schreider. Right. And so I buy those in the bulk now from Amazon, and I give those to everybody I enroll because they're like $5. They're like this little. It's the easiest to read. What else? Another book. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget about it. It's my favorite book right now too. Have you heard of it? It's the one about Babylon. It's like
The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yes, that is a good book. Everybody knows that book.
That is a great book. That is a great book. Okay, so yeah. Richest Man in Babylon, Icebreakers, Sell or Be Sold. Those
and this one's
your top ones.
The People Code, if you really want to understand people, this one's a good one too. It's by Taylor Hartman. There's so many books. Okay, you guys,
I know.
Everybody should put their TV away and just read. Okay, it's easier to watch TV, but you need to do the hard thing and read every day.
That's the truth. I like it. It's the truth. Well, Cayla, thank you so much for joining us and for just giving your time for this hour. I know that you have inspired. We've got hundreds of people tuning in from all over the world, and for you to take the time on a Monday night to just give back, and that's just what you do. And so we're so grateful for you and your leadership. And this bad boy will be posted. I'll post it in the Start Facebook page and also Isogenics Business, so you'll be able to use this as a tool for some of your guys' teams as just a training call. So we appreciate you, Cayla.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. Everybody have a good week.
See you guys.